Unsolved mysteries are occurring all around us, and with the internet age they are widely documented, allowing us to endlessly speculate as to what they may be. Many of these mysteries are recorded on video. Unfortunately, most of these mysteries are recorded with devices known as potatoes, and therefore end up in very bad quality, thus leading many to disregard them entirely. But not today, so join us as we count 10 unsolved mysteries caught on tape. Number 10. Ball lightning. Over the years there have been a number of different videos released, all showing a very similar ball hovering around in the sky that has been labelled as a ball lightning by many on the internet. This may be an atmospheric electrical phenomenon, but this is still surrounded by a lot of controversy. It is usually associated with thunderstorms, but lasts considerably longer than the split-second flash of a lightning bolt. Until the 1960s, most scientists argued that ball lightning was not a real phenomenon, but an urban myth, despite numerous reports throughout the world. Early reports say that the ball eventually explodes, sometimes with fatal consequences, leaving behind the odor of sulfur. Number 9. Max Headroom broadcast intrusion. This was a television signal hijacking that occurred in Chicago on the evening of November 22nd, 1987. It's an example of what is known in the television business as a broadcast signal intrusion, and the hijacker was never identified. During a broadcast of Doctor Who, TV station WTTW's signal was hijacked. The show was interrupted by television static, after which an unidentified man wearing the Max Headroom mask and sunglasses appeared. After a few comments, the man started to moan, scream and laugh, while continuing to utter random phrases such as New Coke's advertising slogan, "Catch the Wave," while holding a Pepsi can, which was ironic since Max Headroom was a Coca-Cola spokesperson at the time. After around a minute and a half, the video cuts to a shot of the man bending over and partially revealing his buttocks, after which he was spanked with a fly swatter as the man screams loudly. The transmission then blacks out for a few seconds before returning to Doctor Who. Number 8. UBV-72. UBV-72 is a Russian radio station that has been continuously active from the late 1970s until today. It was originally detected during the Cold War and traced to Povarovo near Moscow. It broadcasts a short, monotonous buzz tone that repeats at a rate of approximately 25 notes per minute for 24 hours per day. On rare occasions, the buzzer signal is interrupted and a voice transmission in Russian takes place, which sounds like this. The message is coded and only a correct one-time pad can decipher, therefore rendering the cryptic message impossible to solve for outside listeners. The location of the station changed in 2010, and there are now at least 2 transmitter sites. One is confirmed and the other is claimed to be located at Naro-Forminsk, Moscow district, where the 69th Communication Center is located, which serves as the main staff headquarters of the Western Military District in Moscow. The meaning of this broadcast is unknown. Some speculate the purpose to be a nuclear warning device, others a secret method for spies to communicate, or perhaps it's just a very poor Russian DJ. Who knows? Number 7. Disappearance of Frederick Valentich. 20-year-old Frederick Valentich disappeared while on a 125-mile training flight in a Cessna 182L light aircraft over Bass Strait in Australia on the 21st of October 1978. This is the conversation he had with Melbourne Air Traffic Control before he disappeared.
This is Delta Sierra Juliet. Is there any known traffic below 5,000 feet? No known traffic. Seems to be a large aircraft below 5,000 feet. What type of aircraft is it? I cannot confirm. It's 4 bright, seems to me like landing lights. The aircraft has just passed over me at least 1,000 feet above. Is there any Air Force aircraft in the vicinity? No known aircraft in the vicinity. Seems to be playing some sort of game. He's flying over me. Delta Sierra Juliet, it's not an aircraft, it's... Can you describe the aircraft? As it's flying past, it's a long shape. Cannot identify it. It has such speed. It's before me right now, Melbourne. How large would the object be? Seems like it's stationary. What it's doing right now is orbiting. The thing is just orbiting on top of me. It's also got a green light and a sort of metallic, like, it's shiny on the outside. It's just vanished. That strange aircraft's hovering on top of me again. It's hovering and it's not an aircraft.
Number 6. Disneyland Ghost. This is a video on YouTube from a surveillance operator at Disneyland. He shows us some footage that very much looks to be a ghost casually walking around the grounds of Disneyland, even walking through a clearly closed gate. The video has gathered over 13 million views, and the comment section is filled with speculation, with some genuinely believing this to be a spectral ghost walking around, and others theorizing how the visual effects were pulled off. Number 5. Hampton Court Ghost. Hampton Court is a royal palace in London and was once the residence to the royal family, famously home to King Henry VIII. Today it is a major tourist attraction that serves as a step back into Tudor times, and apparently a home to a very skeletal-like ghost. In the winter of 2003, a surveillance camera on the grounds captured what may be a ghost that looks very similar to Skeletor from the He-Man series, opening one of the doors of the building and suddenly disappearing. The ghost appeared to be wearing clothes that resemble what people wore during Tudor times. Was it actually a ghost, or perhaps a hoax by a mischievous employee? Perhaps we'll never know. Number 4. Swedish twins suicide attempt. An incredibly strange occurrence. There's a full documentary showcasing these Swedish twin sisters experiencing psychosis at the same time and attempting to commit suicide. The video shows the twin sisters walking along the central reservation of the M6 motorway just outside Birmingham in central England. The duo then take a sudden plunge into oncoming traffic, and the first woman is hit by a car. Police were called to the scene, and astonishingly, while being interviewed, one of the women again tears herself away from the officers and throws herself into the carriageway. The woman is struck by a truck and seriously injured. Soon after, the second sister repeats her twin's actions and hurtles into traffic to be hit by a car. Despite her head-on collision with a vehicle, the sister tried to escape custody once more by again running onto the motorway. The sister with more serious damage was treated in hospital for 7 weeks before being released, while the other sister was released the next day, but then went on to stab a man to death. She was sentenced to only 4 years in prison, meaning she is now walking free among us. Number 3. Fallen Angel in Catalonia. This video shows a couple of Catalan men stumbling across what seems to be the location of a landing of some sort. As they investigate, they find a feather with blood next to it. They continue their exploration until they stumble across a strange creature in the woods. They make a noise to gain the attention of the creature, and it turns around with glowing eyes. At this point, like any normal man, they run the hell away from there. The video is titled Fallen Angel, but to me personally, it does look more like Gollum escaped from Lord of the Rings to come and haunt us in the real world. Number 2. Sand Fountain. This video was taken in 2006 by an unknown man in Saudi Arabia with a cell phone, which explains the crispy potato quality of the video itself. Nevertheless, the quality of the video is good enough to showcase that an incredibly powerful natural occurrence was taking place involving tons of sand. However, what exactly happened that day is still a mystery now. At the time, it was reported that the Saudi government sent out scientists and geological experts from the state-run Aramco oil company to investigate the phenomenon. However, after 5 years, they have yet to release their findings to the public. Number 1. John Chang, Master of Qi. John Chang is a strong practitioner of meditation and a natural healer who has been helping Javan people for decades. He said his powers came from Qi energy, which he gets from meditation. He can create a current with his hands and even start a fire with just a page of newspaper and his bare hands. A group of scientists embarked on a journey to debunk Chang's skills and uncover him as a fraud. They used a metal detector to see if he had any concealed metal in his body. He didn't. They then used a voltmeter to try and measure the Qi, but they didn't get any readings, and yet he was able to give them electric shocks. So what is going on here? There's a good chance we'll never find out, as John Chang refuses to reveal himself to the public ever again.